Hey, welcome to Tabletop Skirmish Games. I'm Lee, and in this video we'll be having a look at the new rules for Warhammer 40,000 10th edition for the Space Wolves. Yesterday we got to see some new rules for 5 of the Space Marine chapters, but in this video I'm going to focus on the Space Wolves, and if you'd like to see the new rules for the other chapters that they included, that article's up on the Warhammer community site. But let's get started and go through some of the fun new rules for the Space Wolves. I think it's going to be really cool to play them in 10th edition. I can't wait to get started, and after reading this article, the Hounds of Morkai are suddenly much more appealing. Now, my Space Wolves are a firstborn only army, and I've made some different models that I use as proxies, like these eliminators here, using firstborn Marines on the bigger bases. But I think I'm going to have to do something for the Hounds of Morkai. I can't have any Primaris in there, but I think I can do something similar to what I did here with the CYCLAIRE, so I'll be looking for some other models that'll fit the bill, make sure they're on the right bases, give them the right weapons, and I think we'll be good to go. If you're interested in picking up some of the proper Hounds of Morkai models, it'd be great if you check out Element Games. They're sponsoring my channel and the tournaments that I'm doing for Warhammer 40,000, so a big thanks to them. And a massive thank you to my other channel sponsors this month for helping me keep going with these daily videos and keeping you up to date with all the Warhammer news. Alright, let's get started then, and we'll begin with the Space Wolves Champions of Rust detachment rule, Deeds Worthy of Saga. There's 4 sagas to choose from here, and at the end of the battle round you can select one of the sagas that we're going to be going through and that you can see in the list on the left hand side here. If that saga was completed by your army during that battle round, all Adeptus Astartes models from your army gain the associate benefit until the end of the battle, but you can only select each saga once per battle. Okay, let's fetch up the first saga on the screen. This is Saga of the Warrior Born, and this is completed if one or more Adeptus Astartes character models from your army destroyed one or more enemy character models during the battle round. And then the benefit you'll get once that's completed is that melee weapons equipped by Adeptus Astartes models from your army will now have the Sustained Hits 1 ability, and again it's until the end of the battle. In the new 10th edition, Sustained Hits 1 means that each critical hit scores 1 additional hit on the target. That's pretty cool then, so this is going to be really a case of getting these sagas ticked off and getting stronger and stronger as the battle goes on. Let's have a look at the second saga. This one is called Saga of Majesty, and this saga is completed if you controlled one or more objective markers in your opponent's deployment zone at the end of either player's turn during the battle round, and one or more Adeptus Astartes character models from your army were within range of that objective marker. The benefit once completed is that you improve the objective control characteristic of Adeptus Astartes models from your army by 1. Now we can attach character models to our units. This is probably going to be a bit easier to achieve this kind of thing now in 10th edition. So I'm really liking the sound of this. Looks pretty fun. You want to be maybe deep striking behind enemy lines, getting on that objective with some Terminators perhaps, and then that's going to be a great way to get that saga completed. The next saga is called Saga of the Bear, and this is completed if one or more Adeptus Astartes character models from your army were reduced to below half of their starting number of wounds during the battle round, but were not destroyed at the end of the battle round. And the benefit for this one once completed is that Adeptus Astartes models from your army have the Feel No Pain 6+ ability. I like this idea that the character's getting slightly injured, taking some wounds, a bit of an angry bear situation going on, and then that's going to really empower the rest of the army with that rage, so they're going to feel no pain as they run into battle and get stuck in. I like the idea that the characters won't just roll over and die, they can survive, and then when they do, they can then help the rest of the army to be even tougher to take down. Next up is Saga of the Beastslayer. I think this one could be a bit rough for the enemy. This saga is completed if one or more Adeptus Astartes character models from your army destroyed one or more enemy monster or vehicle models during the battle round. And the benefit, once completed, melee weapons equipped by all Adeptus Astartes models from your army now have the Lethal Hits ability, again until the end of the battle. In the new 10th edition, the Lethal Hits ability means that each time an attack is made with a weapon with this ability, a critical hit automatically wounds the target. So a real big focus on the melee weapons here, but layering this up with the sustained hits ability as well is going to be pretty cool. I imagine in the first couple of rounds, maybe you're getting your characters stuck right in, getting them really in the enemy's face so you can actually do some of these sagas, and then that's going to empower the rest of your army ready for the rounds where you start getting other benefits for the melee attacks. So this could be really cool. I think this is going to be fun to try and tick these things off as you play the game. Really builds in to the narrative of the Space Wolves trying to achieve these sagas. Heavily character based as well, which I kind of like. So yeah, I think this is going to be really fun. Another thing I'm feeling pretty positive about for the Space Wolves are the new Hounds of Morkai rules. So let's have a look at their data card and we'll go through their weapons and abilities. We'll also have a look at the existing data card for the 9th edition Hounds of Morkai, and then I'll do a comparison at the end. But first of all, let's have a look at this new 10th edition version. So here we can see the Hounds of Morkai, movement 6 inches, toughness 4, saving on a 3+, 2 wounds, leadership 6+, and objective control is 1. Then we've got the abilities on the right hand side, and the first one is the core ability, Scouts 6 inches. In 10th edition, this ability means that the Hounds of Morkai can make a normal move up to 6 inches before the first turn begins. And if they're embarked in a dedicated transport, that dedicated transport can make the move instead. But everyone within that transport must also have the Scout's 6-inch ability. As with many rules like this that we're already familiar with, they must end their move more than 9 inches horizontally away from all enemy models. The faction ability is Oath of Moment, and as we've seen in previous videos I've done, if your army faction is Adeptus Astartes, at the start of your command phase, you'll select one unit from your opponent's army. Until the start of your next command phase, each time a model from your army with this ability makes an attack that targets that enemy unit, you can re-roll the hit roll and you can re-roll the wound roll. Now pair this up with the Saga of the Warrior Born or Saga of the Beast Slayer, and this is going to be really fun. This is going to be pretty powerful to be taking out specific units to get those sagas achieved and get the benefits from them. The next ability is specific to the Hounds of Morkai. This is called Morkai's Howl, and in your shooting phase, you can select one enemy unit within 12 inches of this unit. If a lieutenant in Revan armour is leading the unit, you can select one enemy unit within 18 inches instead. And I think you certainly want to be putting a lieutenant in here to get that character model in there for the sagas as well. That unit that you've chosen now must take a battle shock test, subtracting 1 from the results if it's a Psyker unit. If that test is failed, in addition to being battle shocked, that unit is stunned until the start of your next shooting phase, and while a unit is stunned, each time a model in that unit makes a psychic attack, subtract 1 from the hit roll. So while not trying to make the enemy flee, you really want them chasing their tail here and really reducing their damage that they can do from their hit rolls. So really cool, this ability. And obviously with the Hounds of Morkai, you want to be going after the Psyker characters, the Psyker units. It's going to be really interesting to see how they go up against the new models from the Tyrannid army. That's going to be awesome. And also obviously the Thousand Suns. You really want to get stuck in against them too with these new abilities. They've also got an invulnerable save. It's a 6+ normally, so that's against any attacks against them. But this invulnerable save is improved to 4+ against psychic attacks, and that could be psychic attacks from ranged or melee weapons. So I really like this. This is really going to encourage me to push these forward, get them close to the enemy, and I think the enemy will be barking up the wrong tree if they think they're going to take the Hounds of Morkai out easily. Now let's have a look at the keywords. We've got infantry, grenades, smoke, Imperium, Phobos, and Hounds of Morkai. Nice to see that smoke in there included as one of the keywords. Hopefully that's going to help make them even more harder to hit and take out. So I really like how sneaky they're going to be, the assassins of the army. Let's have a look at the weapon stats now. So the ranged weapon is the Morkai Bolt Pistol. It's got a range of 12 inches, 1 attack, ballistic skill 3+, strength 4, AP is -1, and damage is 1. But look at all the weapon abilities. Anti-Psyker 4+, devastating wounds, pistol, and precision. Let's have a look at what each of these does in the new 10th edition. Let's look at Anti-Psyker 4+ first, and here with this rule, an unmodified wound roll of 4+ against a target with the matching keyword scores a critical wound. Again, putting that with those sagas, leveling everything up, this is going to be really fun. Then there's devastating wounds, and with this one, a critical wound inflicts mortal wounds equal to the weapon's damage characteristic, which in this case will be 1 instead of any normal damage. And next up there's precision, and this is certainly one you would expect from a unit like the Hounds of Morkai. And here, when targeting an attached unit, the attacking melee's player can have the attack allocated to a character model in that unit visible to the bearer. I really like this. That range 12 inches is certainly going to encourage you to get really close. You've got to use these ranged weapons and then eventually melee weapons. But I think putting a lieutenant in here with the unit is going to make them pretty good at getting those sagas ticked off. So I'm really excited to play these now. Reading these rules has been awesome. I'm glad I sat on it a little bit overnight and I didn't make the video yesterday. I wanted to have a bit more of a think about it. But yeah, the more I've looked at it, the more I'm really keen to get playing. Still got more to chew on though. Let's have a look at the melee weapons, and we've got the Morkai combat knife. This has also got anti-psyker 4+, devastating wounds and precision in there as well. Great, that's awesome. Then there's the range here, melee weapon obviously, and then we've got the attacks, 4 attacks, weapon skill 3+, strength 4, AP is 0 and damage is 1. So while that's not too exciting as far as the stats go, those weapon abilities are really cool. I think once you layer those up and start achieving some sagas as well, you're going to do pretty well with these. Alright, let's have a look at the old data card then, and here you can see the one from 9th edition, and I'll just do a quick comparison looking at how some of the things are going to change. So we've got the same movement, toughness is the same, saves, wounds, all that. Leadership's changed, and of course we've got objective control now as well. The weapons have seen quite a big change though. The bolt pistol here has got an AP of -2 in 9th edition, but in 10th it's -1. Damage is the same as is strength, but it's all those extra abilities that come with the weapon that really makes them stand out now. Likewise with the melee weapon, that combat knife, here you can make 2 attacks with the Hounds of Morkai, plus that additional attack with your weapon, so it would be 3 in 9th edition, but in 10th you're getting a standard 4 attacks there, so that's really cool. And then the AP is going to be 0 in both, damage is 1, and strength is also 4, and weapon skill is the same as well. The abilities have changed a fair bit really when you look at the comparison between 9th and 10th. I prefer the 10th edition. I really like the Scouts move at first. That's really thematic, and I like the idea that you're putting pressure on the enemy with Morkai's Howl as well. Having the Lieutenant in there as well, extending that range, is very nice. I also really like the invulnerable save. That's kind of replaced runic totems. I think you're going to get more from that at first look. So I think the invulnerable save is something really cool, especially that 4+ against the psychic attacks. It's definitely encouraging you to push forward, get right in the face of those psychic units and deal it to them. Some of the keywords have changed. We've got the new addition of Smoke, which I really like, and we've lost Reaver though, so that's going to change. Maybe how they interact with terrain is going to be different now. And as you can see here, the grapnel launcher is no longer available in the 10th edition Hounds of Morkai. So a little bit of a change, but I think I prefer again to have that scout move early on, just to get advanced a little bit closer. But yeah, not bad. I think the changes are really cool in 10th. I'm really excited for these, can't wait to play them, and certainly it's going to encourage me to make a dedicated unit or 2 of them to go along with my firstborns. But let me know what you think so far about all these rules in the comments down below. And if you're looking at adding some of these Hounds of Morkai to your collection and sniffing out a good deal, then check out Element Games with that link down below as well. And these should be back in stock real soon. So they're just out for a few days, but they'll be back as soon as Games Workshop gets back on top of things, because at the moment all their attention is going into this Leviathan box set, which should be released very soon. It's going to be this month, and we may even see it in this Sunday's pre-order with that 2-week pre-order window. I know a lot of us have been hounding them to try and get the information, but it's coming soon, and today we may even get the rules for new 10th edition, so look out for that, and I'll certainly be covering it here on the channel. But I've yapped on enough now, so if you want to check out some more videos, if you enjoyed this one, you might like the free battle report overview I did, and if you like using models as proxies for other models, you might enjoy this base adapters video where I showed how I use my Katachan models as Kazakins for Kill Team and 40k. I'll link to both of those videos at the end of this one so you can check them out. Thanks for watching. It's all pretty exciting at the moment with 10th edition about to drop. I can't wait to share more about the rules as soon as we get them and make those how to play videos. But for now, thanks again for watching. If you liked the video, it'd be great if you hit the like button, subscribe for more videos like this one, and I look forward to seeing you here next time on Tabletop Skirmish Games. Thank you so much to my Patreon supporters for helping me to keep going with these regular videos. I couldn't do this without you, and I appreciate your support so much. If you'd like to join the Patreon community, support the channel, get some great perks at the same time, there's a link down below in the description. It'll be awesome to see you there.